Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book on Amazon in Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. If you like the video, please like, please subscribe, please share, and or comment. As I'm sure you've all seen, Paris is burning, and not like the movie. The protests in the center of Paris are in their fourth week now. Okay, and this is some folks, that actually looks like a woman, but that's a man with long hair and dreadlocks overturning that vehicle. So we want to explore this. Okay. So the yellow vests, they're called the yellow vests, descend on Paris as police arrest over 700 and fire tear gas. 4 people have died, 700 people have been arrested. Okay, these protests are spreading to Belgium. There's looting, smashing windows, and there are demands that Macron resign. Okay, the government had warned of a potential increase in violence, fearful that the more hardcore elements would hijack the yellow vest demonstrations. And apparently, both the far left and the far right, Antifa is violent, and some of the far right factions are violent, and they're both being violent together in these protests, which is very interesting. Okay. Initially, their ranks were filled by members of the working poor from rural areas dismayed by a planned increase in the gasoline tax. The French government has suspended this tax. I'm calling BS on that. Okay, the taxes in France are very high. They're around 50%. Much, much higher than here in the United States. I pay about 15%, probably around 15% taxes. Okay, so, and they pay like 50%, but France mostly has had some of the highest standard of living on the planet, and they're very proud of this, and God bless them. Okay, they're protesting at the Champs-Élysées. I've been there. Okay. Also, Paris is locking down the Eiffel Tower in anticipation of more violent clashes between protesters and police. Okay, and so they all wear these yellow vests. Basically, is it about gas tax? No, it's not. It's way beyond gas taxes. It's way beyond any taxes. Okay, the government and the media are lying to you, and we want to get beneath this a little bit. Okay, they're not going to keep protesting and looting and protesting for 4 weeks over some taxes that have now been repealed. What's going on? What's going on in Europe? Well, there's a whole lot of things going on in Europe. Okay, I'm Polish. And populism is rising in Europe. Why is that? Populism is rising in America. Why is that? Okay, there's globalism and populism. Macron is a globalist. Okay, when he accepted his presidential prime ministership, they were playing the EU song, not the French melody. They weren't playing the French song. They were playing the EU song. Okay, and Macron is not up for re-election until 2022. Countries that have, and it's all about migration. These people are furious about migration. What are some governments that have completely closed their borders to migration? Poland, I'm Polish. Hungary. Hungary has completely closed its border. They built a fence. And illegal migration is down 99.9%. It's almost zero. So a fence actually works. Okay, the Hungarians are feeling great about this. Romania has closed its border. Italy just elected a president who said, a prime minister who says he's going to deport 500,000 illegal migrants within like 5 years, and he's going to close the border. Why? Because all the migrants were coming to Italy. Denmark, Finland, Norway, Sweden, they've seen increases in conservative populism, 20%. France has seen an increase in populism. Okay, and Trump, whether you like him or not, Trump was elected because of illegal immigration. That is literally what he ran on. And these midterm elections, he was pumping the wall and illegal immigration. Okay, so whether you agree with him or not, whether you like him or not, that is the issue. These folks are rioting because of masses of immigrants coming into their country unrestrained. That's what's actually happening. Okay, so will these protests, whole lot of questions here, will these protests worsen over it's in the fourth week of protests. Will these protests get worse or will they get better? Or will they subside? Water into wine, cross, fox, heart. Okay, will these protests worsen? Cross is the permanent marriage card. This is their country. These are the people of the land. This is their country. They don't have another country. This is their country. That's the marriage card. We belong to this country. We are French. That's what they're saying. Fox, water into wine. Water into wine. Jesus, when he turned the water into wine, he made an unlimited amount of, he turned water into essentially an unlimited amount of wine. Okay, so they're just going to keep renewing. These protests are going to just keep renewing and renewing and renewing, and they're not going to stop. And they want the government to have a heart for them, pay attention to them. That's why they're rioting. Okay, and Fox, there's a strategy here. This is 27, cross again. Okay, this is all about the people of France. This is our country. Pay attention to us. Show us some love. So these protests are going to keep going on, and they're just going to keep going on until they get what they want. Are these protests going to spread to other European countries? Because they are. They're spreading a little bit. Are they going to catch fire in other European countries? Because they're happening in Belgium. There's little protests, I think, in Germany, but it's already spreading to Belgium and other places. Are they going to spread? And that would be great, in my opinion, because they interviewed one of the protesters, and he said, "We don't agree with the current system anymore. It doesn't represent us." Isn't that the truth? That's the truth. The government no longer represents the people. How can that be a democracy? It's not. Okay, and overwhelmingly in these countries, like 80%, 90%, they are against, they're like, this is too much immigration. It's out of control. It's too much. Are these protests going to spread? Wow. Okay, will they spread to other countries? Okay, and Switzerland, because the immigration problem was so bad, because they were experiencing the immigration, Switzerland passed a law that said anyone who receives any form of public assistance, housing, food, money, they must pay it back within a specified period of time. I think it's like 3 years, or you can't become a citizen. And what happened? Immigration dried up in Switzerland. They're like, we're going to Germany. We're going to England. Okay, so is it going to spread to other countries? Lovers, straight razor, executioner, snake. This could say they're going to cut it. This could say that the government is going to take very harsh action, like even martial law. 2426, finger of God. Wow. I'm concerned here that the government, this is not what I was thinking. I'm concerned that the government or governments will really crack down and even declare martial law and like start shooting citizens. That's terrible. And the snake lies in under the situation. They might start shooting French citizens for loving their country, France. This is what governments will do. They don't care about you. Okay, your government is lying to you, the media is lying to you, and they don't care about you. These globalists, and again, I'm just going to hammer this home, when there's one world government, when there's one world religion, or no religion, which is what they're going for, and one world currency, it's all over. And that's what Macron and the globalists want. Okay, they don't represent the people. They represent other interests. Is Macron going to resign over this? He's not up for re-election until 2022. Will Macron resign? Will he be deposed? Will he resign? Or will he stick? Okay, we have home, butterfly, fence sitter, crossroads. He's going to react to the circumstances of the people of France. He's going to react to the people of France. Okay, he already repealed this gas tax, but that's not really what it's about. The French people are very, very dissatisfied with what they see going on in their country. They're extremely dissatisfied. They're so dissatisfied that they're rioting for 4 weeks straight. And it's going to continue and get worse. Okay, this adds 9. 3 hearts. Roses. He's going to stick around. There's no breaking cards. He's going to stick around. He's going to make decisions, and he's going to pledge his love to the French people, and he's going to do everything he can to satisfy them. Macron is not going anywhere. Oh, let me read you something. Let me read you a list of the countries that have gone populist or conservative. Here's a list of some of the countries that have gone populist and conservative. And Poland is not even listed on there, and I'm Polish. Hungary, I'm going to throw Poland in there. Austria, Macedonia, Croatia, Slovenia, Albania, Bulgaria, and Turkey. Turkey. Okay, this is a Muslim country. Here's some more countries that have gone conservative and are not allowing any more migrants. Lebanon, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Egypt. Okay, how come we never hear about all of the Muslim countries who are accepting no migrants? How come we never hear about that? We never hear about that because all your government does is lie to you, and the media lies to you as well. Okay, is France going to flip to conservative in the next election? Okay, because the real issue here is unrestrained illegal immigration. That is the issue. It's not about a gas tax, and I find it interesting they keep talking about the gas tax. Is France going to flip to a conservative government in the next election? And unfortunately, Macron is not up for re-election until 2022. And Macron just repledged his globalist ideas with when Trump visited, and he said nationalism is racism. Okay? And right after he said that, the people of France started rioting. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think that's a coincidence. He really thumbed his nose at Donald Trump and he said nationalism is racism. And then suddenly riots break out. And, oh, it must be about gas taxes. Okay, is France going to flip to conservative in the next election? All right, karmic relationship, cup overflowing, woman hand in hand. This is the many people. They are very strong. The cup is overflowing. This is an overflow of emotions of the people and their relationship to their country. 12 and 10, 22, 28, 7 spades, secret. There is a movement. There is an underlying movement of tremendous... Okay, it's basically, is it nationalism or globalism? This is nationalism. This is people want to, this is an overwhelming feeling of love for their country and their countrymen. So nationalism is secretly rising among the French people. There's going to be a big push towards nationalism and Vive la France for the French people. And they're, you know, that's a good thing. What's wrong with loving your country? What's wrong with saying, I'm French and I'm proud of it? And I don't know how many French people you've met, but they're very proud to be French. They are some of the proudest people on the planet, which is why they're so rude. And if you go to France and you don't try to speak French, you know, où est le bathroom? If you don't even try to speak French, they will treat you really bad. Okay, how do I know this? Because I've been to France. Will they move to deport illegal migrants? Because in the United States, okay, and we're talking about France, but in the United States, something like 94% of the people who apply as refugees fleeing violence or whatever do not qualify. And so the game is they get into the United States, they make the application, they say, oh, we're fleeing, and then they never show up for court, and then they just live illegally in the country. What's that called? That's called illegal immigration. The same thing is happening in Europe. Most of these people do not qualify as fleeing persecution. The vast majority of them, like more than 90%. And so then they just disappear into the society, into Europe, and live illegally permanently. Okay, and this creates a whole host of problems. So are they going to close the border, close the French border to new migrants as a result of this? Ruler, Mother Earth, big change. Oh, they are going to make a change. Okay, and, does any country need illegal immigration? No. Okay, let's take the United States, for instance. We have the most generous legal immigration in the world. Okay? We have the most generous legal immigration in the world. More people emigrate legally to the United States per capita than any other country. Okay, why do we need illegal immigration? We don't. And all of these people can apply legally. And these arguments that they are applying as refugees, it is legal, that's not true. That's just not true. So are they going to close the border? It's sneaking in the back door and crossing the border illegally and then living in the country illegally, because more than 90% of those people do not qualify as, for the programs that they're applying for, and that's why they never show up again. Okay, so are they going to close the border? The ruler, Mother Earth, karmic shift, incubus, succubus. Okay, the people of France are really upset, and a big change is going to occur in the motherland, and this is going to be ruled on by the king. So big changes are going to occur. They're not closing the border, but big changes are going to occur because the people are so upset that they're rioting for 4 weeks straight, and it's spreading across Europe. Okay, but they're not closing the border here. This is 25, 13 and 12, 25, 7 hearts. The dissatisfaction of the people is continuing and will just grow. So they have to, the government that does not represent you has to make a change. They have to make a change. Okay, in Italy, the new Italian premier, he got elected because he vowed to deport 500,000 illegal immigrants. And what happened? They came in under this program, we're fleeing persecution, and then they're assessed after they get into the country, so they can remain in the country while they're being assessed, and then they never leave. They're all slated for deportation, then they just flee. They just live underground illegally. So Salvino, the Italian guy, he got elected on this, that he's going to deport 500,000 illegal migrants. Okay, because it's already determined that they're illegal. Okay, will France begin deporting illegal migrants? Okay, people who are living in the country illegally. How is that good for the country? It's not good for anybody. Okay, and all of these people can immigrate legally. And I'm not being cold-hearted because my parents emigrated to this country. I'm an immigrant. And my parents did not take public assistance. Or anything like that. Okay, are they going to start deporting any migrants in France? Four-leaf clover, cornucopia, four-leaf clover, handcuffs, olive tree. There's no cutting here. There's no anything like that. 8 and 6 is 14. 4 diamonds, cornerstone, olive tree and cornerstone. No, they're not deporting anybody. They are not deporting anybody. They're not deporting anybody. They are not deporting anybody. They are not going to deport anybody. Okay, so whichever way you fall on that, they're going to make big changes because they have to, because the people are so upset. They're going to make big changes to this migration policy because the people are very upset and it's going to continue into the future. Let's review. Are the protests going to worsen? They're going to renew endlessly because this is their country and they are just going to focus their efforts until the government that does not represent them finally pays attention to them. So these protests will continue. Will these protests spread to other countries? It looks like the France government is going to declare like martial law and start killing people. It's going to get really bad for the protesters, which is terrible. That's not democracy. That's a military dictatorship. Okay, so that's what's really hiding underneath this veneer of civilization. Okay, the bad people win, and that's what's going to happen. So the French government is going to crack down, and they're going to say enough, and they're going to start killing their own people. Will Macron resign? Nope, he's not going to resign. He's going to say sweet words, and he's going to react to the people. He's not going anywhere. He's going to make decisions and sweet words. He's not going anywhere. Is France going to flip to conservative? Yes, this screams nationalism. This says, I love my country. I am French. Vive la France. And this is a wave of populism is about to hit France. just a wave of populism that will reverse many of the current things that are going on in France. Are they going to close the border? No, there's no closing anything here. The ruler is going to make a big change because the people are so unhappy. Okay, they're going to have to make changes to the land. The ruler's going to have to make changes to the land, big changes to please the people because they're so upset. Six is always a relationship. Six spades is a bad, selfish relationship. Okay, they're just feeding on the people. And this is six spades. This is incubus succubus. The incubus succubus will come, is a sex demon, and it lays on top of the victim, the human victim, and it sucks the life out of them. And that's exactly what's happening. Okay, and that's what's happening with these migrants. They are just going on welfare, like 90% of them, 94% of them, 96% of them, and they're just going on welfare. And who's paying for that? The French people. How is that good? How is that good? And so Switzerland, like I said, they said anybody who goes on welfare, anybody who goes on public assistance, you can never be a French citizen. You have to pay it back. Okay? And problem solved. Problem solved. Hungary built a fence. Problem solved. Switzerland said, if you go on public assistance, we don't want you. Problem solved. There's your two solutions right there. We want people who are going to contribute to the country and the nation. Okay, are they going to deport illegal migrants, people living illegally in France, which there are probably millions. There's like 10 or 20 million illegal people living illegally in the United States right now, and there's I don't know how many millions living in France. France is a smaller place. No, they're not deporting anybody. They're not deporting anybody. They're staying. They're not deporting anybody. Okay, so big problems. And I would just point out that your government is always lying to you. And look at what they're going to do over here. They would kill the people. They would sacrifice the people of France rather than change their own selfish motivations and do. The government is supposed to represent the people. It doesn't. Okay? The government is supposed to represent the people. And to keep doing their globalist thing that destroys the country, they will kill the people. They will kill the people. They will use deadly force rather than bend to the will of the people. And these politicians are allegedly elected by the people. We're exposing the lies here at the Magi Method. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle in paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. If you like the video, please subscribe, please share, please comment.